Hey beautiful people, how's it going? And welcome to a new video. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about my cast on Death Slayer. A lot of people requested that I make a video about this on Twitch because they always ask me about it whenever I log into it to do my own Uber Exarch and Ether farming. It's a very cheap build, it's very easy, and cast on Death is nothing new. It's been around for, well, since forever really. But yeah, most people don't do Slayer, so they're kind of curious as to what goes on and the setup for it. So I'm going to just give you an overview and how it works and whatnot in this video. So yeah, here's a showcase of me killing Uber Exarch and Ether without my +1 power charge relic in, just so that you know that you don't necessarily need a +1 power charge relic in order to one hit, even with more life modifiers and whatnot. So I'll get into the video after this, and I will see you in a sec. Okay guys, so first and foremost, the reason that I am playing Slayer and not an occultist or an assassin is simply because I had a duelist leveled up and I am very lazy. I could not be bothered to level up another character. Slayer is still fine because the way it works is you're going to power charge stack the same way you normally would, and then you're going to use Badge of the Brotherhood to make your frenzy equal to your maximum power charges. But then with Slayer, you also get Masterful Form, which then makes your endurance charges equal to your frenzy, which is equal to your power charges. So they all become equal, and you can get up to 30 charges with my current setup that I have right now. So if I press these 3 flasks, which is how you generate your charges like so, you'll see I have 30, which when paired with Phantasmal Discharge, as you can see, you deal 1.6 to 4.8k lightning damage per power charge removed, and then 2.5 to 3.8k base fire and core damage per frenzy and endurance. So when you have 30 charges like I do, that is obviously a ton of damage, and currently my damage is, if it does enough to cull in one hit, it's about 1.4 billion average hit, which is more than enough to one-shot Uber Exarch or Ether with maximum more life modifiers on them as well. Yeah, so because you're also a Slayer, you get Headsman, so you get a 20% cull built in, which is obviously great for cast and death, because all you want to do is one hit anyway. You get some damage with hits and ailments against unique enemies over here, and you also get a little bit of multi. This one's not too important, but it is a little bit of help. Now, because you're a Slayer as well, you start off on this side, which means you can actually naturally take Disciple of Unyielding, Disciple of Slaughter, as you path all the way up to the power charges like so. And you can also get Disciple of the Forbidden, which is obviously tons and tons of damage that you wouldn't really get on an Assassin or an Occultist version, because they don't really path all the way down here, as there's no point. So yeah, for the last power charge, you are going to anoint it, so that's how you get all your maximum power charges. And then I also use 4 clusters, which is going to be Corrosive Elements, Prismatic Card, and Widespread Destruction. Basically, Corrosive Elements gives you 25% chance to apply Cold Exposure, Fire Exposure, and Lightning Exposure on hit. We have 4 of those, so it's 100% for all. Pretty important. 60C clusters, by the way, guys, very cheap. The only real expensive thing on the tree will be the multi-jewels, which I have quite a lot of. Triple multi, not quad multi. Quad multi is very expensive. You don't need it, though. Triple multi, or even double multi, is actually fine. Triple multis are about 2 to 3 divines per one. And those are pretty much the only jewels you have, aside from the Watcher's Eye, which is Exarch Pen Res, because we don't actually have any pen in this build aside from that. So the elemental resistance modifiers on the invites actually deal quite a lot of damage mitigation because of our lack of pen. So yeah, that's pretty much the tree. The tree, guys, is just going to be on a POB in the description. I'll also have a budget version, because my version, although it is still technically cheap for me, it will be quite expensive for some people. So yeah, I've got 2 POBs. We'll go over my gear right now. Okay guys, gear overview time. So starting with the staff, it's going to be Annihilating Light for triple damage. Res doesn't matter, 6 link doesn't matter, because we don't care about res, since all we're going to do is blow ourselves up anyway. Yeah, 9 lane life is the weapon. The weapon. So, next up we have Eber's Unification Helmet. Corrupted with +1 power charge. The reason we're going for this is because you gain 8% of elemental damage as extra chaos damage. You can also get Void Gaze, which is okay, it doesn't really matter. Basically, that little cloud there when I flame dashed is the gaze. And it makes the enemies take increased gas damage, so it will do a bit of damage extra if you hit them with it before you explode, but not necessarily needed in order to kill. So yeah, that's the helmet. 50C helmet with +1 power charge with an 8% roll is what I got it at. Badge of the Brotherhood, allocated with overcharge in order to get the extra power charge, and then obviously we need this as a staple in order to max our frenzy to our power charge, and then subsequently the endurance charges to the frenzy to the power charge. You get it, you get it. Next up, belt. String of Servitude with crit multi. Mine isn't even max rolled. I just got this drop. Another reason I decided to make the build. They're about 10C max rolled. So yeah, again, very cheap. Surge Binders, staple in Cast on Death because you get 7% increased LA damage per frenzy and 7% increased spell damage per power charge, which is obviously fantastic. After that, Legacy of Fury, Wormscale Boots with 50% increased effective Scorch and nearby enemies are Scorch. As you can see, Scorch enemies have a 10%, minus 10% to LA res, so that's obviously a really big factor. Since again, we don't have any pen. So yeah, that's quite a big amount of damage that you get from these. And again, these aren't very expensive either, guys. They're all very cheap. Now, the expensive things that I do have, which you don't necessarily need. So I have a +1 power charge relic. You can just get something like, I don't know, a nerve relic or just an increased damage relic. Would be absolutely fine. Power charge is best in slot though. Next up, we have any circle ring with +1 power charge. Doesn't matter what the stats are at all. It's +1 power charge on one of these bad boys. I got these for 5 div each because nobody really uses them because they're just cannon fodder otherwise. So yeah, this one, Circle of Nostalgia, is a little bit better because you do need a tiny bit of Chaos Res, which I'll go over soon. So if you can get a Circle of Nostalgia just one of them, that'd be great, but don't necessarily need it either. And I'll show you how to get Chaos Res if you don't have one of these as well. So yeah, 2 of those. And lastly, I have a Diala's Malefaction, which has +1 Cycled Gems. Again, this is not necessary. You can just use a Skin of the Lords. And the damage won't be much less than this. It will be a bit less, but it won't be much less than this. Because there's like 40 Divine Chest, whereas, you know, Skin is like 50C. So, if you do go for Dialas and you want to use that, so you're going to have Phantasmal Discharge in a red for +2 levels. You're going to have Ele Focus in a red for +2 levels. And Empower Support in a red, again, for the levels. So, yeah, this is actually a level 30 Phantasmal Discharge, even though it's actually only level 20. So I could get up to 31, but I just don't need to because I'm already doing like 1.4 billion damage. In the green sockets, which is going to be the alt quality, you only really need 2. Like 4 red is probably ideal, but 2 green sockets at least. 1 for Anomalous Cast on Death, which is going to get you up to 25% base crit whilst dead, which makes it very easy to hit 100%. And the second one is for Divergent Power Charge on crit, which is then going to give you 5% increased damage per power charge. You have 10 power charges when you press all flash. That's 50% increased damage from this. So yeah, you also get, of course, the 4% more damage per power charge from the Divergent Power Charge on crit anyway. And lastly, we have Conk Effect. This is in a green. Doesn't need to be in a green. It can be in a red. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't make too much of a difference, so don't worry about it too much. But yeah, that's just about it for the actual gear. With the flasks, you're going to want 1 at Series Promise for the Chaos Resistance. And you're going to want a Bottled Faith for damage, and then 3 of these Geodris Elixir. If you have 10 charges like I do, they will all need to be at 3. If you have less than that, you don't, like, they can be at 2, it's fine. But I'm going to show you why you need the Chaos Res right now. We'll go to the Menagerie. And, yeah, so right now my Chaos Resistance is -43. So if I don't press this at Zero's Promise right now, you'll see I kill myself after 2 of these because these slasks actually make you take 50% of your max life as chaos damage on use, but this does get mitigated by Chaos Resistance. So right now, 43 Chaos. If I press the Zero's Promise, which by default gives us +35 Chaos Res, and then we have 70% increase effect, you'll see we get 16, and then that allows me to press all 3, which is going to allow me to get all 10 charges for maximum damage. So you're definitely going to need this because you won't be able to get Chaos Resistance on any other part of your gear. If you don't have a Circle of Nostalgia and you need more Chaos Resistance, all you have to do is come over here, and there's these nodes here. 1 or 2 of these nodes should be enough to mitigate the damage enough to the point where you can get all 3 flasks off. So yeah. Okay guys, so quickly going over the gem links now. For my auras, I have Skitterbot, Zealotry, and Precision level 12. That's all you really need, no Enlighten or anything like that. In the helmet, I have a Cast on Death with a Firestorm, Ele Weakness, and Frostbite. So once Cast on Death triggers, then we're going to inflict Frostbite and Ele Weakness, as well as Firestorm. And Firestorm is great because it allows you to cull with the Headsman over here. So this will basically apply your 20% cull. So yeah, very cool for that one. After that, in the gloves, I have Increased Duration, Flame Dash, and Arcane Surge level 1, Flame Dash 21. So when I Flame Dash once, I'm going to get Arcane Surge, which makes us do more spell damage, which is why pretty much before you kill, you always just want to Flame Dash so you make sure that is up. In the chest, Anomalous Cast on Death, Phantasmal Discharge, Conk Effect, Awakened Early Focus, Divergent Power Charge on crit, and Empower. That's your 6-link setup. Whether it be Dialas or Skin of the Lords, it's going to be the absolute same. And then I do have a Righteous Fire in here. I don't use it. You can put it on cast when damage taken to proc as you press all your flasks, but I don't need it. So I've just never really done it. I've just got it there in case I want to quickly press it, for whatever reason like that. Like, I could get them all off. But yeah, that would obviously be a lot more damage as well. So yeah, that's the gem links. There's not really much to it, guys. I can show you very quickly a boss showcase. I believe I have one in here somewhere. Let me have a look. Okay, I have a screaming. I have a few screamings, actually. Okay, so let's just get this. And what do we have? Increase attack speed, suppress. Suppress actually obviously can half your damage, so it's a little bit annoying. So let's just skip suppress, just so I can show you guaranteed. Okay, then we get suppress again. Why not? Why wouldn't we get suppress again? Okay. This one has burning ground. Ground effects can also be a little bit annoying because if you take too much damage, like you don't regen, so you're not going to get all 3 flats off, which can kind of cuck you a little bit. It just depends on the layout. Like, let's have a look. This one should be fine by the looks of it. So yeah, what you want to do, you just want to come in. You want to kind of run around because he has a damage over time which reduces over 8 seconds from 100% down to 0. So you just want to sort of time waste a little bit. And then you're just going to want to flame dash like I did, and then press all your flash. That's literally it. That's all you do. And then he should just die, depending on how much damage you have. Obviously, it varies. If you have, like, less gear than I do, then you'll have to wait the full 8 seconds before you try it. You just run around in circles, and when you see him do a move, just flame dash behind him. And, yeah, he should just die. That's just about it, guys. Literally nothing else matters on this. Like, no Pantheon matters. This is purely a build that I just did so I could do my own Uber Exarch and Eaters with relative ease. So, yeah. That's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If I missed anything, feel free to pop by Twitch or the Discord, and I'll happily answer or help you out. Yeah. Take care, guys. I will catch you next time. Peace. Before I go, big shout out to my King Patreon supporters, Ascend, Multi-K, Nifty, Isaiah, Pandoxy, Gavin, and Stu. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for the support. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.